I want to join the Deputy Prime Minister in welcoming all of you to this, the third in a series of town hall meetings put on by the team Unity Government. And the crowds are getting larger and larger and larger. So put your hands together for yourselves for being part of an increasing number. I say thank you because 3 years ago we embarked on an interesting journey. And tonight I listened to a commentary on the Fox television channel, and they were saying that someone just left the Trump administration. And what caught my attention was the message that came out from one of the analysts. He was saying that when you have a team, it goes through the norming of that relationship, the working, etc., etc. It was an explanation that the Honorable Eugene Hamilton had given time after time in relation to Team Unity. Yes. That we were coming together as a first effort, but that we had to move from different stages of development of that relationship up to a point where we begin to work together. Coming together is one exercise, an important exercise. Holding the team together is a critical part of the follow-up measures. And incentivizing the team to deliver, in the end, is where the icing is on the cake. When we came together on the 26th of September 2013, many said we wasn't gonna last. We couldn't make it for a couple weeks, and yet we survived to go through an election as a single team with a single manifesto. One aim, one desire, to advance an agenda for the national development of St. Kitts and Nevis. 3 years after, your Team Unity is still together, thanks to you. I say thank you because Team Unity did not come from Sean Richards, neither did it come from Timothy Harris, nor from Eugene Hamilton. Team Unity came from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Some miss that point. 4 polls of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis before the 16th of February 2015 indicated that across the length and breadth of St. Kitts and Nevis, there was a yearning for something different. That the people of St. Kitts and Nevis were tired of the Labour Party, were tired of party politics, and the only way they see for their redemption was through a unity movement. 70% of the people, long before we came together on the 26th of February 2013, polls were showing that was the preference of the people. Before we were launched at Greenlands, you had persons like Mr. Politics, perhaps one of the biggest, loudest PAM supporters in West Barstow, was going on radio station and saying he was no longer interested in that kind of party politics. He wanted a unity agenda. Long before we stepped on stage, we had Mr. Culture, one of the strongest Labour supporters for years, going on radio and saying he was no longer committed to an agenda of narrow party politics. He wanted a unity solution to take our country to the next level of development. Long before we stood on stage together, there were people who are here like Carl Bowd, who were calling in. They want unity. They were tired of the way we had been doing things since 1952, where the winner took it all. That there had to be a new masterpiece for our democracy that would unleash the abilities, the capabilities of every citizen, every resident, every boy and girl. Fairness and justice being a critical motivation. That was what unity was about years ago. That is what unity still stands for. Fairness and justice and fair share for all. That is what it was. Long before we took the stage in 2013 and the historic day of the 26th of September, we had advocates. A man who had given all of his life in service to the PAM party, Richard Keynes, the man known to have more money than God. And Richard Keynes came publicly to say that he wanted a new way of doing politics in St. Kitts and Nevis. That way for him was a team unity way. Tonight we are here celebrating because the voices of Mr. Politics, the voices of the Richard Keynes, the voices of the Carl Brown, the voices of the Slyburn campers, the voices of Ambassador Michael Powell, and all the hundreds and thousands of people throughout St. Kitts and Nevis who came to believe in team unity. Their voices echoed loud and clear on the 16th of February 2015. 3 years after, I've come to say, it has been a humbling experience to lead the most and the best performing team in government in a long time. It has been a humbling experience, for this is a complex team. This is a team of stars. This is a team of people full of confidence. And yet for the government to function, for us to get beyond the norming into the working phase, we have to understand how the system works. And we have to be prepared to allow the leadership to work in a manner in which it ought to. From the bottom of my heart, I say a heartfelt thank you to the Deputy Prime Minister and leader of the PAM party, who has given loyal, strong support to the unity movement from inception. And I thank him. And I will do all that I can to ensure his successful re-election as the undisputed champion for the people of St. Christopher 5. I will do all that I can to ensure that when the time comes at the end of my tenure, 10 years as Prime Minister, the baton passed to the Honorable Sean K. Richards. I do all that I can. And so over time, more will be expected of him, not only just to chair the cabinet in which the interest of the people of Sandy Point is pronounced, but to prepare himself for the leadership of the country, which eventually will come this way. In my 18 plus or so years, since 93, I had had the opportunity to face the people in general elections. 95, 2000, 2004, 2010, 2015, and I will go back again for the last time in 2020. And never once did the lovely people of number 7, give yourself a round of applause, disappointed me. And so I say to them, I love you and I thank you. Undeserving as I feel at times, your love and show of solidarity has kept me alive each waking day to do good for country and to do good for you. So I say thank you to all those persons like Sly Buchanan, Sly Bonkampa, sorry. I changed your name. Maybe his father's side or mother's side. But we'll work it out. But I recall walking through the alleyways of number 4 with Bonkampa. We were like brothers. This Saturday before the election, it was Bonkampa who had developed a reputation when I was in the Douglas Party as a rebel. Somebody you have to be strong with. And he became my good friend and my colleague. Thanks to unity, the impossibilities that work, we have been creating a better history. Bonkampa and I went Franklin's Road one morning, I think the Saturday before the election. We canvassed over 25 young people, brought them from all over, behind a boat with their sat down going through, bringing and begging them to deliver the vote, to deliver number 4 for the Honorable Lindsey Grant. With me was my own brother. With me were 2 young men, one John from Mansion and one from another area in the constituency, who had developed relations in number 4. They were the ones that mobilized and brought the people there. This election was a team effort at work. Team effort at work. We delivered. Many persons were prepared for the first time, even if it meant to close their eyes and vote for a candidate not from their party, because they believe in the dream and the magic of a team unity. And I come to say, it will be forward ever, backward never. All of us must do what we can to ensure the continuing progress of a team unity government. We cannot go back from whence we came. We cannot go back to the 20-year history of plague, because we know what that meant. One week, jammed down, a strong PAM supporter, victimized up the port long time ago, and he still remember up to today. And he said to me, this unity jammed down like so many of you inside here, work too hard to put together, to let anyone mash it up, to start building again. This is what the people gave to us. This is what every day we have to defend and protect. Some people sometimes forget from whence they came. But tonight I want to thank people like Enver Pemberton, who is here with us, who every day, as often as he could, call into the program to lend support to team unity. I said, thank you, brother, and thank you, sister, for your support. And most importantly, I was pleased and moved when the Deputy Prime Minister outlined all that was happening. And of course, he couldn't be exhaustive. So many good things are happening in our country. We are the most talked about country in terms of positive things happening. We are the story maker. We are making interesting stories of things hitherto thought to be impossible under team unity. With the love of God and support of the people, we are making them happen. We are making them happen. And there are many witnesses to it. Sean spoke to Calvin Farrier an outstanding civil servant for many years, gave a lifetime of service to his country, could have been at the United Nations, came home, taught, and entered into public service at the highest level. And for years, no recognition. The recognition came the other day because there's a team, unity, government in place. Honor to whom it is due. Recognizing the talents of our people, not on the basis of political party, but on the basis of merit, long, meritorious service to the country of their birth. Not only him, Patricia Hobson being honored by this team unity government after years of service to education. You imagine with Douglas, you play fool with what you get. You allow Douglas to get back into power. Do you imagine the mother of Damian Hobson, sister of Billy Herbert, being honored for her contribution? Only team unity can deliver. That is what we are talking about. You look at the board membership, because sometimes our people are the ones who sometimes are too negative. Our people are the ones who remind me of the story in the Bible. You take them out of the wilderness, and having taken them out, they want to face the sea. They want to face the wilderness again. That was the problem long ago. We don't have to repeat it. We have done a good thing. We have been working for you, making sacrifices, and you see the benefit of our efforts. In our first year, we ain't even settled down good. Immediately we were able to pay $16 million to farmer sugar workers, some who got nothing under the Douglas regime. $16 million and not 1 cent out of the treasury. That is a miracle. In our first year, in sticking to our commitment, we removed the burden of what? From food, from medicine, from funeral expenses. This week, Saturday, I sat with Alicia Singh out of Barbados, and she come with her box. And what was in the box? 18 tins of condensed milk. Alicia, what you do with all of that? You staying long in St. Kitts? No, I'm taking them back home to St. Kitts. How you get the cost of living so cheap in St. Kitts relative to Barbados? So she taking our condensed milk back to Barbados. Understand? What we are taking for granted, our people are marveling. The fact that we are a new government, 20 years of the former government never delivered that. And we are delivering it. First, you have your blind. That is what we are talking about. We have transformed the lives of people. When we look around and we see all the persons from Sandy Point who have been elevated, big jobs, big positions, they are the ones who are supposed to be on the campaign trail writing like how Calvin Fourier wrote week after week his long epistle, but they don't have to do the same epistle, 2 paragraphs of good rightmanship about how well this government is doing. We have done that for you. And some of you, all of a sudden, when Team Unity put you in position, you are all in the politics. Politics give you all that. This politics give you all the work. Let truth be told. Truth be told. And if suddenly you are in the politics, now you get big job, well, the people of the country will make a determination. about those things. Be careful. Some things we take for granted. We have the National Insurance Board. Cindy Deming is the deputy chairperson of the Board of National Insurance. First time that happened, team unity at work. We have at National Bank, Ben Jacks on the board on that team unity government. National Trust, point of correction and correction accepted. National Trust, Cindy came to say, that is where she had. Edward Giff, Denver Mike, Rivi Warner, all these are your people. Duggins, Dorita Lewis, Darrell Lloyd, all these are your people on the team unity. We have given them the opportunity for service. And all we ask is for excellent service. Yes, we have not forgotten our people. For these are your neighbors. These are your friends. These are your villagers. And we have put them in positions where they should be better able to help you. Everything you shouldn't have to run to your representative for when these people have been empowered. Part of the challenge, they in the politics now until election time come again. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. We're not working with that. So that they are sneaky in the big position, stepping out on you. And when anything, you can't find them to provide help. That is not how the system should work. That put too much of the burden on the ministers and the representatives when we know better can be done. And of course, it has not been a perfect run, because Sean is right. Everybody's needs cannot be met at the same time. But we promise, once that one goes ahead of you, it can't go ahead of you again. You can't give Peter Meggs a house, and Peter Meggs a second house, and Susan Draining get one. That ain't how it will work. So sometimes we have to be happy for those who good fortune comes to. Part of the problem. Sometimes our very own we can't be happy for. We can't be happy for. And so we have to have a frank conversation. A frank conversation. My point, Sean's point, Wendy's point. We have been working. We have been delivering. You see the work and you know what is to come. Praise up your government. Praise up your government. And now is the start to begin to big up your rep and your government and your team unity. Team unity is what delivers. When I went into East Pasteur and Neverson Street and John Street at Bird Rock in the peninsula, in and out, I mean, a confused Douglas security them a track me down. For I got to show I come out again the next one. When I did that, it was to help deliver the message of team unity to a doubting community and people everywhere. In number 4, which could not be delivered for many years, near 20 years, we delivered that seat in 2015 under the banner of a team unity. In number 1, which we could not deliver for many years, 20 years, it was delivered under the banner of team unity. In number 8, where everybody was confused. Lord, it under a lot of trouble because you have behaved like Douglas. And Jean is a calmer man. I went up and down in St. Peter's and I gave the story in Paris and Stapleton. And when I reach out to John, boss, I say, boy, he said, how things? I said, too good to be true. And I explained. I was surprised I in a labor belly, and I come out the belly side. You know how it is? And I in St. Peter's in a labor stronghold. And the response was helpful. Met several women, can't call the name now, people privacy important. But she said to me, because you came, I will go and register. And I will get my 5 children to go to register with me tomorrow because you, Timothy Harris, came. We were able to do this together, not by division, but by unification. That is a success. And today, we could celebrate that unity has worked because in Nevis, where they said it was a referendum and team unity, CCM improved their standard under the banner of unity. Almost every project delivered in Nevis came as a result of the support of the federal government. The sports track, top 1 in the world, they say, because of team unity at work. Improvement at Alexandria Hospital, team unity at work. Every month we provided them support, 30 million. They never received that before. Dear civil servants, never face a bounce streak. We have been delivering. We said a new way. We said a better way. We say you will benefit, and we are delivering. Growth year after year. 3 years. 2010, negative growth, 3.8%. 2011, 1.9 negative. 2012, about 0.8% negative. That was how it was going under Douglas. In the end, through the CBI, they had a record of 6% in 2014 or thereabout. For the 5-year period, a growth rate of 1.2 every year under your team unity government. We have delivered a growth rate that is 3 times what Labour delivered in its last 5 years. That is a record. On the team unity, the Social Security has reported that more people are at work than ever in the history of St. Kitts and Nevis. On the team unity, Social Security reported 2,228 additions as contributors. Who are the contributors? You the workers and you the self-employed. 2,228 brought into productive activity under a team unity government. We are delivering. One good term deserves another. One good term deserves another. This is what it will be. Look to the future and see the choice. You farm the fool, you end up with Douglas again. But Douglas not change. Douglas is the most conflicted man. Look how Douglas harassed Sean, harassed Grant, harassed Hamilton over their passport. Douglas end up getting one. You understand? The man has to be out of it. The vanity of the man, that although he has lost power, he wants to feel like he has the power. And the ordinary passport which I have, which Jamdown has, and all of us have, he don't take pleasure. He no want no green, he in the red brigade, so he want to go up. So, forgetting that just before he left office, he took with Samon at the airport. He took with mine. But as the lady took with that one, I said, will this one do? She said, yes, if you have a visit. I went on my green passport, feeling proud. He forgot that when Heiliger served as leader of the opposition, he did not offer any passport. He forgot that when Mark Grantley served as leader of the opposition for 8.5 years, Mark said at Molyneux, never once did he provide him. But what was the haste of Denzil Douglas? He ain't even let the government settle down. Election in February, by July, and he ain't even asked. To shame to ask. To shame. Too ashamed to ask because he knew he was undeserving. He went and he begged Skerrit. I mean, you put Skerrit in a difficult position when he goes to beg him as a comrade, give him a red passport. Skerrit smart, Skerrit say you're going to have to sign it. And that is the problem now. Because in the court documents that he submitted, he signed it. And on it says that he's a Dominican. Ain't me do it. And when they ask him, he say, the computer malfunction. The computer choked that thing and him. Well, if the computer make that mistake, he could have called Tanker to fix it. Tanker is a good IT man. He could have called the Han Henry of Sandy Point to fix it. They are good computer men. But he used the passport, which he says, the computer mess up time after time. And it is God, you know. Because what he used to do was to play a game of tampus. He leaves St. Kitts with the St. Kitts passport. He goes to St. Martin and Dubai to show up the Dominican passport. He doing a swish. And as one day it would happen, he came home. And in a haste, it was around a certain time, he came back in a haste and he put up the one. He put up the Dominican one and he forgot. And nowadays, in the age of computer, once you do it so you gone on the screen, you can't get it off. That is why he was faced to admit it. When he was asked, ain't nobody business. I don't have no two citizens. Dr. Harris is lying on me. Dr. Harris has one too. And they went so far to create a fraudulent passport and put it out as if to say, Harris got one. So that make it right? I have never gone after any passport other than that of St. Kitts and Nevis. And that is why now he has a problem. He has to spend his time in court defending an action which he ought not to take. A man like that, who put St. Kitts and Nevis last. Imagine Dominica got impacted by hurricane. All our hearts grieve and mourn. We were the first to give them money, hard money, over $1 million. When their own police officers here were disinclined to go back home, we sent St. Kitts and Nevis Defense Force officials and police officers to Dominica to maintain law and order. We did that, and we have no regrets. The Dominicans were saying they can't face it to go. We tell our people to go. Today for Dominica, tomorrow could be us. And here, Dr. Douglas, we are undermining Dominica. Dr. Douglas has investment in Dominica, in the CBI program, in a property over 341 rooms. 341 rooms. So when Douglas came out talking about the CBI, Douglas looking not so much about Dominica, but his investment, his interest in a 341 room facility thereabout in the Commonwealth of Dominica. The man is bad. The man is bad. When we bring in progress to you with the construction of a well-deserved cruise pair, cruise passenger arrival move from over 600,000, the peak in its tenure, to over 1,058,000 cruise passengers. Nearly double up under us. And instead his supporters, he wrote a letter to the people in Canada, tell them keep far from St. Kitts and Nevis. That St. Kitts is the worst place, according to him. That man is body like a sore foot. And what is worse, you know, I could understand he playing dirty politics, because that is what that is. It is also the politics of betrayal. It is the politics of vendetta, because Douglas figure if we can't mash up team unity by creating confusion within us, there must be no projects happen in the country so people can't find work. But what was worse for me was that in that letter, Douglas take out a full big paragraph and Patches Libert's son. Now Patches Libert's son ain't in the politics. If I know the son good, Patrick should have to hold him by hand, carry him to vote. Understand? And yet he took half a big part of the letter talking about all the sins of Patrick's son. What that got to do with it? The man is low. We said we are bringing a Ritz-Carlton hotel, which he could not deliver. What does the Douglas party do? They are trying to encourage the handful of beach operators to stay on the property so that the buyer of the land could get fed up, so that the 800 jobs that will be created on that project will never materialize. The man is bitter against the country, and if he cannot run it, he figures no one else can. No one else can. We talk about the Ritz-Carlton. They told me he took up his phone and he went through a long tirade on the phone about Lindsey Grant with the principles of Ritz-Carlton. That man is bad. He is a person we have to be aware of, because he will go to extreme to be a stumbling block to progress in this country. Well, we bring in the sixth sense to Sandy Point of all places. And I know he must be a eat up himself. But I know he can't stop that project. Thanks be to God. In broad daylight, we sign it off. For you, the people of Sandy Point, and for you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And you ask yourself, how come? He said he brought the Park Hyatt people, but they didn't want to do any business with him. At one point, the man is a good man, you know. When Douglas went to visit the project one point, the short man told him, "You're not going to go there. You're not going to go there." Called the man to his office, and he threatened the man. The man had to stand up to him because the man understood Douglas. Douglas is a man, if you give an inch, he will take a mile. You have to stand up with him and tell him to his face. That is why I'm happy for Marsha. Marsha, tell him to his face, "I done you to lie." And he can't deal with that. And Mills, tell him to his face. That is why they are here. Because they understand that the team unity solution is the best one. Hundreds of jobs are coming to the people. And I want to encourage you, the people of Sandy Point, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, when war comes, begin to work. Stop the skylarking with work. Some of you would say, we're looking for work, but work there, and you pick and choose. And I want to advise the parents. You have people in your home, they done finish with school, let them look for some work. Everybody will not be in the bank, but everybody willing can find a start. Find a start. It doesn't have to be the perfect job, but it's a start from which you could build and go on to something else. And so you, the parents, are farming the fool when you have them there and you say, they're not gonna work. But when last they go look for work, when last they say, I will start and gain work experience. I work in Wellington factory, and I have to say, no bad wind ever blew. With all my A-levels, I went in a factory, getting up after 5 to take canes, truck from St. Paul's when it passed, to go up to Wellington to work. From working in Wellington factory, I have become the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. It doesn't matter where you start. We all can't start the same place. It's how we use our experiences to advance. Work is going to be opening up. And when work comes, some of you only could work a Friday. It is a problem we have to acknowledge in construction. Because the people who are involved in building, even local people are saying, it's hard to get local workers in St. Kitts to work up to 4 on construction site. Somehow from 1 o'clock, they want to go downtown to Lime. Lime, when there is work, and then you have the contrast, the Spanish. When Friday they finish at 6, and they say, Bassman, trabajo tomorrow. They mix up the English and Spanish, just to get the boss' attention. They're saying they are ready to return to work tomorrow. And when tomorrow is ended, they are willing to come on Sunday, because they recognize in construction, as in tourism, some work are seasonal. You take the work when you can get it, and you save for the rainy day. That is what we have to do. And then we come and complain. Too much of Spanish over there. The Spanish, them understand hard work. The Spanish understand they have to work and save. And when you see them at work, they carry the rice, they carry all kind of things. But they understand how to save. Not every fast food you go and buy to say you have it. We have to begin to save for the rainy day. We here as a team, and I'm wrapping up, have come together and we have made sacrifices. Sacrifices in our parties. Sacrifices in terms of individual ambitions. Because you had leaders of every party. And we say, for the good, we will allow Harris to go ahead. We will introduce term limit so we know he will not be there forever like Douglas. We say we will work together. When we strengthen the PLP branch in Sandy Point, it's the Honorable Sean Richards who will be contesting. In number 5, he will be the beneficiary of Barber's vote, of Marshall's vote, because of the team unity. When we strengthen our hand in number 4, it is Lindsey Grant who will be running in number 4. So who will benefit? So this nonsense about competition, the train is as strong as its weakest link, and we will make PLP a strong link in the train of unity. The benefit for it will be the team as a whole. When we incentivize our people in number 1, it's because we know that number 1 is still a challenging seat, and that we have to bring more of the Labour supporters over there. Who will bring them? Who will bring them except PLP in unity? Who are their natural allies? When we do that work, we are doing it to defend the team unity family and to ensure that we could go forward, never looking back to what we have rejected. For if Douglas was bad then, he will be 10 times worse if you get back there again. So thank you for all that you have done, but thank you most importantly for what we will do together moving ahead. God bless you.
Stay up to date with news, programs, and activities of the government with SKNIS. Like us on Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Twitter. And watch our videos on YouTube. Connect with us today. SKNIS, St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service.